To conceptualize the nature of real estate, we must look to our human roots. We do not own earth or air, only a bundle of rights to their use. Our bundle of rights descends from many ancient traditions. The concept of private property in many Western countries has developed for over more than a millennium. Our bundle of private property rights has come down to us through a series of ancient beliefs and practices. These practices include fundamental ways of delineating and measuring nature. We can illustrate the basic methods by looking down the beach along water's edge. First, we establish a focal point and separate our view between the basin of water that we call the sea, the dry land which we refer to as the earth, the gases above the liquid and solid which we call air, and the rock beneath the surface which is the core. For measurement, we draw axes to delineate these four aspects of nature. Principally, we measure the earth in order to confer the bundle of rights for the disposition, use, possession, and exclusion of property. We define the rights in respect to its value for habitation and the production of goods and services. Likewise, we measure the sea for purposes of commerce, extraction of resources, and limits of sovereign domain. We measure the air above to determine the rights for building and to limit the use by aircraft. Finally, we measure into the core in order to provide for mineral rights while limiting encroachment on surface use of the earth and sea. To measure the surface of our planet, we use basic tools and the horizon line. The horizon separates the sky above from the ground below. We set our focal point at the middle of the horizon line. The focal point serves as our vanishing point, where the earth appears to touch the sky. This allows us to combine plane geometry on the ground with celestial observation in the sky in order to measure vast tracts of land. To define fishing and other rights, as well as to establish the limits of sovereignty, we measure the sea. We start with the focal point along the horizon that delineates the sky above from the sea below. As our primary concern lies with measuring a linear distance from shore, we must measure and account for the curvature of the planet. Therefore, we must measure line of sight. Line of sight to the horizon or above is based upon the calculation that the surface of the planet curves by 7.98 inches per mile. If we assume that the eye level of two people is 6 feet above the surface, then we can calculate the sight distance in statute miles using a simple formula. This formula requires that we add together the two heights above surface level, divide the value by 0.5736, and then take the square root of the quotient. Using the numerical values in our example results in a sight distance of 15.84 miles. However, water vapor haze in the atmosphere does tend to decrease the actual sight distance. To recall our conceptual model of real estate, we offer a simple mnemonic anagram. The anagram includes the four aspects of nature and the axes of delineation that we saw in the first position, along with the two views, one above and one below the horizon, from the second position.